He's in the trenches thinking about how to build the next generation of AI.
The one thing would be get AI enabled in all your tasks, not just work. We are in the demo phase.
Why specifically Python?
Python is a very high level language. Like I wouldn't choose data science if I have to. I'm imagining myself in high school. Do people even remember the phone numbers of their immediate houses?
Welcome to AI Basics, the podcast where we make sense of artificial intelligence and how it's transforming what we learn, how we work, and how we raise our kids. My guest today is a top-notch data scientist and hands down one of the most skilled minds in the space. He's an IIT Delhi grad. Yes, my obsession with IIT Delhi continues, and he's been at the bleeding edge of data and AI long before it became cool. What blew my mind? That even he, at this age, is learning Python just to reskill for this new wave. So here I am thinking coding is dead, thanks to NVIDIA, and he's in the trenches thinking about how to build the next generation of AI. So naturally, I had to ask him everything. How is he preparing? What's he seeing in the industry? What skills are dead and what skills still matter? And most importantly, what he's telling his daughters. Buckle up, this one's going to be punchy. So Monish, welcome to AI Basics. I'm very excited to have you with us. तो जैसे हम सबको बताते हैं आजकल हमारी मेमोरी स्टैन बहुत ही ज्यादा छोटी है सो टेल अस दैट वन थिंग इफ पीपल डू नॉट वॉच बियॉन्ड दिस व्हाट वुड यू लाइक देम टू नो
Well, firstly, thanks, Agility, for having me on your podcast. Nice to be here. The one thing would be get AI enabled in all your tasks, not just work, but even in your daily tasks where AI could be useful, because that is the road to efficiency going forward.
Wow, okay. Lots to learn from you. Now, Monish, you've been in data science long before it became a buzzword. How are you currently viewing this AI wave? Is it just an extension or is this something totally new?
The current wave will be very impactful because people are getting a better sense of what AI is. But if you look at the past waves, like the data world, think spreadsheets, database applications, then data warehousing, then data mining, all of these took some time to establish. And this wave will take longer because more people are going to be impacted. In the current wave, the big difference is that earlier in all the waves that we saw before, only specialists and end users were involved. This one is going to grab all. So
Yeah,
we are in the
people are saying
process.
it's bigger than the internet. No, this is
Yes,
going
yes.
to be bigger
Certainly.
than the internet because and how quickly, I think almost already 800 or a billion people are using AI.
You're absolutely right in that, because after this, the internet will seem like, the foundation stone, a brick in the wall kind of thing, and the structure is still coming up.
So this was very interesting. हम लोग जब बात कर रहे थे, everyone is saying AI is here, AI is here. Are we really there yet, or is this still the demo phase?
Okay, you see, it's such a big piece. आने में देर लगेगी. So we are in the demo phase, and it has started. We already see very much impacts in areas like, I was in ERP some 30 years back when that was the industry. Now you can bring up an ERP app in about 2 days. Then things like research. Now people can focus more on idea generation, where AI helps, but other things like historical review and collation, all this has been relegated to AI. Most impacted place is where the possibility space is small. So like in strategizing and all, like in chess, now you watch any game of chess, they will tell you what is the next best machine selected move, what is the second best, how many, and besides the usual thing which computers and memory allows you, how many times in the history was it played, how many times did black win from this position, how many times did white win. But in places where the possibility space can be explored analytically and systematically, it's already getting in. We see that a lot of things are already in AI, like your customer service calls, translations, content, your marketing, copy, and such things. But as I said, it's a big piece, so it will come in slowly for all the others.
You're one of the most skilled data scientists I know, and you're still again saying, no, I need to go back and learn Python. Why? First of all, people will ask, why did you choose Python? And why did you feel the need to reskill?
Okay, that tells me only one data scientist. But besides that, this is a field for learners and relearners. The change is very rapid. And why Python? Because that is the state of the art now. When I started off, there was SQL. I learned SAS also. Then we graduated to R. And about 10 years ago, Python came out the hands-on winner. And there are many contenders to Python, but those are to still establish themselves. Python is there. And then why am I going to back and relearning it? Because there are new things introduced in Python, like security and stuff, and how to leverage AI. So you see, there'll be a lot of new stuff created every day. And from your old, you should know how to link to the new. So you need to keep upgrading your skills. Now, like AI can write code. Now, code generation is not a problem. But after that, the maintenance, the review, and all that, you need to be hands-on. And by hands-on, if you're hands-on, then you'll be able to participate in this wave, not just as a user, but also as a contributor or as a solution designer.
Now let's dive a little deeper because you did say this that look, everything can write your code for you, chat GPT, you've got so many tools. So I was thinking मैं भी coder बन सकती हूँ, anybody can be a coder. So why specifically Python? Because is it some structure or is there something there that we are still saying that no, we still need those type of languages that we have learned?
Yes, Python is a very high level language. Like it is interpreted and compiled at the same time. I mean, that's getting technical, but what I would say is you need to have some programming skills, and then you will be learn some basic programming, and then you will be able to see the advantage which Python gives you, and then you will be able to see the power that Python has. And there will be other languages which, in the course of time, will replace Python. But that is the most effective tool we have now. And because of the usage, everyone is jumping onto it, and it's getting richer by the day. There were other contenders, but since they were not contributing into that very much as they are doing it in Python, so it's like, why do you find the maximum number of hacks or bugs in Microsoft OS only? Not, I mean, now it's caught up, not in Mac. That's because most of the users are there. So if when somebody wants to introduce a program or write a procedure or do some research to make it accessible, just like a Word doc, they prefer Python. Like it's a very clear choice right now.
Oh, that's good that you've set that straight. But tell us now, how are you doing it? Are you doing this online? Are you taking a course? What if somebody says, I also want to reskill? मतलब आजकल के बच्चे तो सब कुछ सीखना चाहते हैं और बहुत fast सीखना चाहते हैं.
Problem we have today is the problem of choice. So you can pick from any of these places. So we don't have a problem with the content, but we have a problem with the rigor you approach it with and what next. So it's not like you do one course and you're there. One course will get you started, and then you have to keep building on it. I personally am doing a curated course, and this has been curated by a relative of mine who just finished his master's in data science from Harvard, and he's in his late 40s. So that will tell you, everybody is getting on to it. And why curated course? Because I don't want to, I don't have to learn it right from the basics. At the advanced level, tell me how to hook up to the new things and so on. So, and that part has always been going on. Like besides this, the other thing on my do list every day is to catch up on all the courses that one registered for or bought during the pandemic times. So there is a backlog from there too. But the thing is, when I revisit some of those are slightly outdated, which tells you how fast it is moving, which again pushes the urgency that if you have to do something, then do it now.
Now, there's a lot of confusion, at least to basic people. Like, should I still focus on AI or should I still do data science? Should I still do machine learning? Are all of these relevant? Are all of them part of one chain?
Yes, people do use these terms interchangeably. About what you should do, find your comfort fit, what you understand. Like, if you look at processes, for someone who doesn't know, it's all a set of black boxes. Like take a simple thing like your purchase to procure, what all actions you do. You wouldn't know. But for each black box, there'll be some specialists who know exactly which boxes have to be ticked. And when you get the inputs, what all need to be there and what kind of processing you can do. And when you give it, pass it along, what should be there. So basically find your cubby hole where you are most comfortable in, you understand it. And using that, you build the big picture, like how does machine learning fit into this? At the bottom of it, it's mostly predicting. We want to know something uh, which has been happening in the past, but here is the data of the past and what will it be in the future. Then, I'm just putting it too simply. Then there are tools which will help you explore things and all.
Now, if you was going to start again today, imagine Monish going back to college. Would you still choose data science? Would you still choose computer science? What would you choose today and say, oh, you know what? This is the best way to build a career in tech?
I wouldn't choose data science if I have to. If I'm imagining myself in high school or college where you are deciding your college maybe, but where you're deciding your profession. क्योंकि इसका दौर निकल चुका. It might sound very contra, but what I'm trying to say is uh, the resources needed, the things needed are already in place or getting there, like this class I said, and other things. So if you are starting off now, you should think of scope out what is going to come after this. It'll be the application of, like when we were in school and all, spreadsheets was new. So you could have become a spreadsheet guru, but then what is it used? It led to databases of higher levels and all that. So you have a chance, because by the time from school you reach maturity, or when you're capable of handling projects, this thing will be pretty much mature. I mean, it'll still take some 10-15 years, but people starting off from scratch should look beyond this.
But that, sometimes we like to be fed, हमें बताओ क्या करो. So people want to know what careers are coming up and what careers are on the way out.
Ah, that is a off-ask question, and I know everybody has their own views. But from my point, if you see all those flowchart kind of things, like call this customer based on the response, send this email or that email, all those can be automated. All flowchart where the process doesn't have many surprises, like onboarding a resource, setting up payroll, this, that. So wherever there is not much diagnostic, those will be overtaken faster by AI. And like the transcription job is a very good example, which has been touted many times. There was not much diagnostic. You were just translating the doctor's voice into words, and that got taken over. But the thing is, see, each phase will require a skill. The skill may go away, but the people skilled will be valuable contributors to the next phase. So this fear that this job won't last is not the thing. Jobs will come like that. Imagine 20-30 years ago, entering into spreadsheets was a skill. Tallying numbers on a page was a skill. ये हमारा ऑफिस का सबसे बढ़िया अकाउंटेंट है, कुछ भी numbers दो, tally कर देते हैं. Now a machine will read it and do it for you. But that education and the perspicacity which that guy put in his job is not lost. That can be taken to the next level. So all those jobs which are routine and do not ask for anything deeper from you, they will tend to be overtaken, but not very much. Like, the human element will remain in most of these jobs.
And what about the jobs that are going to be really in? What are the ones that are going to be in demand?
In demand jobs, I mean, wo bhi anybody's guess hai, but like just continuing this further, see, spaces where we don't know much, but we are content with the current theory, which is in fact basic sciences like biology and all. They got a lot of scope for AI. So one space I see is basic sciences with deep learning or an AI enablement that will open up the field, and we can see that engineering is making a comeback, and so is AI robotics. So basic engineering is making a big comeback. In fact, 10 years back, there were some universities which had to be closed because दो ही students आ रहे थे. These were all those universities which got created in the demand for the 90s. And then they had to close some 10 years back, and now engineering is getting back. So those kind of jobs where, you can explore more with AI, those will be in demand. And then besides that, all jobs will be AI enabled. You will have to use AI.
So it's kind of like a basic skill. अब जैसे math सीखते हो, English सीखते हो, AI भी सीख लो.
So when I joined the industry, using the spreadsheet was considered very technical. So interact with spreadsheets, there were special people and they were considered technologists or this. Today, it's a basic skill. I mean, anyone joining an office setting is expected to, do. You don't even have to tell.
Very good. Are there other skills that you think that are emerging that we are not paying attention to, जहाँ पर हमें सोचना चाहिए and say, yeah, let's focus on developing these skills also.
Going by the trend of the day, prompting has become a skill, and there are courses for that. But that will be like, everyone will learn
I
it
know
very soon.
everybody becomes a
Yeah,
engineer, na? A prompt
yeah,
engineer,
prompt
a
engineer,
engineer,
like
a
how
garbage
to
engineer.
ask how to ask questions coherently. And so that's why listening is a soft skill which you would need to again redevelop. It's not just like we always say you need to be a listener, but now things will be more technical. Words will mean something, and words will negate something. So you need to be a good listener so that you can, in the AI process, it's just like your search. You give one wrong word and it'll go in some other direction.
Now,
So listening and one soft skill. Yeah.
but let's go back to this prompt engineering, this art of asking questions, and specifically
Mm.
the way to ask questions to AI. This is becoming a big, big skill set, jokes apart.
Yes, but one can also see some hype into it. If you really want to dig into it, it will say, why don't these people have better grammar classes? And I don't just mean the Ren and Martin English, but व्याकरण सीखो, क्योंकि शब्द जो उचित शब्द है वो एक ही दृश्य या एक ही दो तीन सिनेरियो ही बनाना चाहिए. It can't be loosely used. It's like the most common, especially dirty words, which you use in all situations. Then it loses its significance. So that's why I said listening, because now there is a machine which can check you and see if you're being specific or not. Of course, large language model makes sure that all your context can be memorized by the machine. So it'll grab the context also. But for you to be efficient, you got to listen and be precise. And now, because maybe schooling or other things don't take care of it much, we have prompt engineering where they teach you how exactly to do it and what words. It's in a way it's good because it'll bring about a uniformity which otherwise is not there. But it's a very straight jacketed thing. This means that, that means this and this. It'll richness will be lost, but we will depend on the machines for richness also.
Now, curious question. Your daughters are in college. आप उनको क्या बता रहे हैं? What is the advice that you're giving them? And how are you telling them to navigate this world?
First of all, I
If they're
don my
listening to you.
I don my desi hat and say pado pado pado. But seriously, I tell them like you need to be comfortable and you need to be an expert. So now go ahead, find your field. And wherever you go, you will have to use AI. So that technology enablement, I said, like the spreadsheet. But more important than that, what I tell them is that you should have at least 3 or 4 or multiple streams of income, or at least the potential for it. Because what this also means is that disruption will be a no. So you can't be just a single faceted career person. It's a risk. You can still.
Now that's very interesting. You're saying don't be single faceted, but are you still driving them towards technical skills, or you're saying nahi bhai ye technical skills ab kam demand mein honge, let's move towards something else?
No, that drive part is now taken over by the society or the school at large. So my elder daughter, she's a senior accountant, and the younger one is learning computers. So that's why wherever your interest takes you, go there because you have the choice and the freedom. But where you are, you should be an expert, and you should not. You cannot afford to be an old style expert now. Even my elder daughter, she's using softwares for accounting, which I would like. In my times, we would have thought, oh, we need a specialist for this. But right from the beginning of the career, they are getting exposed to the state of the art, and then they have to build up on that. But you need to have expertise in something.
And how do you feel currently about AI? Because a lot of people are feeling it's overwhelming. It's happening so fast, so quickly, so many things.
Yeah,
मतलब रोज एक नई tool है, कितने को देखो, कितने को
yeah.
बात
If
करो.
you look at my wish list, I need to get better at Gen AI. I need to do AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, all those robots who interact like human beings. Then, of course, your transformers are there. And then there are all these applications which I'd like to learn. Cursor, Windsurf, Anthropic. I'm just saying it for the technical guys, and all those agentic AIs. Now, each one of them is a specialization and a field in itself. But you need to know something, or again, even with a field, you need to know your subfield, where your interest is, where your comfort level is, which is it that you like learning and playing with, and so on. This thing of interest leading it will become more prominent in AI.
No, but this is interesting because aajkal ka generation, they're coming up with beautiful essays, beautiful this. Do you
Hmm.
think that they're becoming overconfident in their use and lazy thinkers? Are they really underestimating what it really takes? Because उनको तो लगता है तो भैया ऐसे लिखना तो इतना आसान है, पेंटिंग बनाना तो इतना.
From our perspective, from the top of it, it seems like they don't understand it, or they don't go deep enough. But the question to ask is, do they really have to? That is, okay, I'll illustrate it with an example. Like when we moved to a new city, like for job and other things, the first thing we did was look at it in a map or whatever, get an idea. भाई बस पकड़नी है तो यहाँ से वहाँ कौन सी बस जाएगी, क्या ये है, कैब सर्विस है, ट्रेन, this that. You had an idea, and that was a part of the process. Today, do people really have to? Especially when the travel times varies by the hour. If I have to go somewhere, I look at the app, the cab app, and figure out how much time it takes and what's the money and all that. So I need not know where A, B, C are relative to each other. So I feel that their native intelligence is finding a path through all this, and we should trust them a bit more, rather than it's like when I got out of home, I remembered at least 50 phone numbers, friends, relatives, सब कुछ याद था. किसी
Yeah.
को नाम बोलना था, मैं बता देता हूँ, उनका ऑफिस नंबर ये है, उनका दूसरा नंबर ये है, उनका क्लब में नंबर ये है, ऐसा सब बता देता था. Today, do people even remember the phone numbers of their immediate household? So the mind is very flexible. It'll find what is there. It's just that you hope they are guided along the right path, and that is more the responsibility of the bigger society at large. Ki ye jo hai, it leads to a productive end, because the mind is freed up of so many things.
It's so true. The mind is freed up. काफी सारे tools available हैं. We have so many ways to learn. You've got YouTube, you've got ChatGPT, you've got Coursera. सब कुछ है. You can learn everything. But do we still hire only on professional degrees, or do you think this mindset is changing?
Yeah, that is a question which keeps coming up even at the personal level when you are interviewing someone or something, because now the of course earlier also degree से कुछ पता नहीं चलता था, इसको शायद खाक पता नहीं होगा, but अभी शायद उसको डिग्री से बहुत ज्यादा पता है based on what he did. So all these things you mentioned, they are very good. In fact, they are very good for training, and they have already established themselves as repositories of knowledge for today's world. And definitely your success depends on how well you leverage these things. But the degree is not going to go away. And I can give you a good example, since you are also a parent, but your kids were young during the pandemic. Any parent who tried teaching the kids during pandemic,
Online. Horrible.
they're given up, because see, the problem is not of content or the right content or the right presentation. The problem is of rigor. And वो जो है rigor, और जो हम कहते हैं निष्ठा, that sincerity and all, degree gets set out more in you, because there will be an exam, there will be a quiz, this, that, there will be a certificate given to you with a grade or something like that. And the institutes do a good job. Everybody comes in at 8, goes through some 8 or 9 classes periods in this many hours, and goes back. So that rigor is very difficult to establish with the other things that you name. However, that doesn't preclude such a possibility. So it becomes difficult. There could be, and there are a lot of people who got fantastic training outside of the college or whatever degree through all these resources you said. Now, how to evaluate them becomes a challenge. How to have a thing.
No, but I loved what you just said right now, that you said rigor, sincerity. These are skills that we actually need to develop. Are there other skills that you think that right now you cannot afford to ignore? One is, of course, the lifelong learning.
Learning, listening. Then, okay, I hope I put this across well. You see, the way the world is changing because of AI, you need to find a way of doing things where you are not stymied by a single point of failure. I mean, system design वाले तो ये सब जानते ही हैं, But it's something like a system designed for even the average person because you are using AI and all these tools. Let me give you with with an example you can relate to. Let's say you are doing trading, algorithmic trading. Ek then your trading program hits a bug. Now that shouldn't mean you don't trade. You should still be able to make meaningful trades. Now, how you set up the alternative is your skill because that will depend on your other soft skills and किसी से phone से पूछा ये या वो. So in this, while navigating this AI world, you have to have great systems, but you also have to be cognizant that you cannot overexpose yourself or take a great risk due to a single point of failure. I mean, internet down ho gaya is a great single point of failure that we all have.
Seriously,
But
we all.
yeah,
And when ChatGPT gives the circle, it's like, oh no.
exactly. So there are some things out of your hand, but things within your hand, you will have to think of that. And that is a skill which I'm sure ek class aayega, like prompting or something.
Now, Monish, we're going to do a quick rapid fire. So, quick, whatever comes into your head, not too much thinking, okay? Let's start. Coding dead or evolving?
Evolving.
GPT-4
Evolving.
or Google search?
Depends. Either.
Online degree or 4-year college?
4-year college.
Data cleaning, underrated or boring?
Very underrated.
Most overhyped tech trend right now?
Trend. It is that your job is going to go away.
Most important soft skill in an AI world?
Listening.
Most dangerous, ignorance of AI or blind trust in AI?
Blind trust.
Books or podcast, what's your preferred way to stay updated? And which one would you like to recommend?
I'd say be bold. Let Amazon do the recommendation and get the first one and start reading.
One AI tool that you actually use every day?
ChatGPT.
Advice in one line for a college student today?
Same. Get AI enabled in everything you do, not just work, but even in your personal business.
Monish, that was amazing. Thank you very much. And एक और questions back पूछूंगी. I have 9-year-old kids. How much to expose them to AI?
Well, there is always a cost to be paid if you don't allow your children to participate in the current trends, however you approve or disapprove of them. So with that in mind, I think with full parental guidance, should give full exposure to AI. You should expose them to the possibilities, how you used to do versus how it is now. I mean, so that they get a sense of perspective. It's the perspective which is more important. Like if you call Swiggy and food is at home, you never get a perspective what it is to make a choice in buying vegetables, then make a choice in cooking and all that. The only choice is restaurant.
No, that's our goal with this podcast too, to give people perspective, from different point of views, from different voices in India. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being on AI Basics.
Thank you, Sakirti, for having me.